Hi everyone, welcome to Azure App Service tutorial. I am Das. In this video, we will learn about Azure App Service, how to create an app service in Azure portal, build and deploy Spring Boot app to Azure App Service from VS Code. Now, let's go into the content. At first, let's see what is Azure App Service. It's a HTTP based service used for hosting web apps, REST APIs and mobile backends. It's a fully managed platform as a service. Before we go further, let me briefly explain about PaaS. Platform as a service is a complete development and deployment environment in the cloud with resources that enables us to deliver cloud-based apps. Like IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, PaaS includes not only infrastructure such as servers, storage, networking, but also middleware, development tools, database, and more. Web applications can be developed in the below languages such as Java with Tomcat, JBoss, or with an embedded web server, Node.js, Python, .NET and more. Now let's see App Service Plan. While learning about Azure App Service, we need to have a brief understanding of App Service Plan. It's a backbone of the app service. That is, an app service always runs in an app service plan. We can mitigate the cost of app service by choosing the appropriate pricing tier as per our need. We can potentially save money by putting multiple apps into one app service plan. Also, we can continue to add apps to an existing plan as long as the plan has enough resources to handle the load. Next, it defines the set of compute resources for an app service app to run, such as the OS, whether to run in Windows or Linux, the region in which it can be hosted, for example, Japan East or West and so on, the number and size of VM instances, whether be it small or medium or large. One of the important thing is the pricing tier. Whether we want to run the app service in free, shared, basic, standard, premium, premium V2, premium V3, isolated tiers. Another important functionality of Azure App Service is the deployment slots that we need to be aware of. So let's see what it is. The deployment slot functionality in App Service enables us to preview, manage, test and deploy the app to different environments. First, we deploy the app to staging slot, perform the necessary checks, tests and then swap the staging slot to the production slot. This functionality is available only for standard, premium and isolated tiers. Now let's see the key benefits of the app service. One of the key benefits is the scaling option that is available so that the app service can scale up or scale out. Now let's see what is scale up. Scale up means increase CPU, memory or disk space or extra features like dedicated virtual machines and so on. Scale out means increase the number of VM instances that run the app. Next key benefit is the DevOps optimization. That is, we can set up CI/CD with Azure DevOps, GitHub, Bitbucket, Docker Hub or Azure Container Registry. Next, the Visual Studio and VS Code integration. In both of these IDEs, there are special tools available to streamline the work of creating, deploying and debugging the app service. For this tutorial to be completed, you need to have the below setup completed beforehand. and please refer to the description for the software download links. First, installation on local computer. Git JDK version 17 or above, Visual Studio Code. And there are certain extensions to be installed on the VS Code. They are extension pack for Java, Spring Boot tools, Azure App Service. And apart from that, you need to have an Azure account to create the app service and deploy to it. Now, I will show you how to do the required installation on VS Code. And since the other installations can be done by yourself in the local computer. Now, let me launch VS Code and complete the installation of the required extension. Now, let's see how to do the required extension installation in the VS Code. Now, if you see on the left side, this is the extension icon. So, once you click this pop-up will come. So, here you need to enter extension pack for Java to install the Java extension. So once you type extension pack, this extension pack for Java comes. So if you click this one, then it will come here to install. As I have already installed in my VS Code, so this shows us uninstall. So click the install and complete the installation process. Next, we need to install the Spring Boot tools. So type Spring Boot tools. So select this Spring Boot tools and do the installation. Next, we will install the Azure App Service extension. So click on this Azure App Service extension and do the installation. As we have completed all the required extension installation in VS Code, now let's see the build and running procedure of the web app in VS Code. Now let's see the steps to build and run the project in VS Code. First, we need to have a Spring Boot web app project. So I have a web app project in my GitHub account, so we can clone that one and use for our tutorial purpose. Next, we will run the app in the VS Code. Next, then we will test the web app in browser whether it is working correctly or not. Then finally, we will generate the artifact using the maven command mvn clean package, which will generate the snapshot.jar file, which will use it for deployment in the Azure App Service. Let us proceed to the cloning of the web app from the GitHub remote repository to the local repository folder. I will do the GitHub remote repository cloning in the GitHub bash tool. Let's enter the git command git clone with remote repository URL. So let's press enter. We can see that the repository is cloned to the local repository folder. So as we have completed the cloning of remote repository to the local repository folder, now let's open the project folder in VS Code. Once we open, it will automatically start building the project and it may take a few seconds. So now let's open the project folder. Select the project folder and click select folder. So once the project folder is opened in VS Code, it will start building the project. Now we can see once the build process is completed. Now let's see briefly what this app does. So go to src folder, main, Java, then open this greetings controller.java. So in this controller class, the @REST controller annotation is used to create RESTful web services that returns JSON or XML data. Then the get mapping annotation maps HTTP GET request to a specific handler method in Spring controllers. This means the getInfo method will be called when an HTTP GET request is received at the /info URL in the browser, and it will return the message welcome to Spring Boot deployment to cloud. Now let's run the app from the VS Code. So for this, just press F5. So it will start running the app. So in the terminal window here you can see that the app is being started. Now let's verify that the app is running properly or not. So let's go to the browser and enter the localhost URL and check. So let us enter the URL and check whether the app is running or not. So http:/localhost : port numbers 8080/info. So this is the URL where our app is running. Hit enter. So now the getInfo method returns the message welcome to Spring Boot deployment to cloud. So we are sure that now the app is running as expected. Now let's generate the artifact which will deploy into the Azure App Service. Now let's generate the artifact using the maven command mvn clean package. So let's open the command prompt and run the maven command. Before that, please make sure that you are in the correct project folder. cd boot demo. Now mvn clean package. So this will generate the artifact in the target folder. So you can see that it's now completed. Now if we go to this target folder, we can see that the snapshot.jar file has been generated, which is the target for our deployment. Now let's see what are the steps we need to follow for the deployment process. Next, let's see the deployment steps. To deploy the web app, we need to have an app service. So let's create a new app service either in Azure portal or VS Code. For this tutorial, I will create one from Azure portal. If you want to create from VS Code, you can try as mentioned in this section from VS Code. So let's create an app service from the Azure portal. So once that is done, then we need to go to VS Code and sign in to Azure to get authenticated so that we can access the Azure resources from VS Code. Then we will go for the deployment of the artifact to the app service in Azure. After that, we will check in the browser if the app service is running properly or not. I have signed into the Azure portal. Now let's create the app service. So as I have created the app service before, this icon is shown here. If you have not done, if you are doing it for the first time, so just type app service, then this item will come. Click on this, then create web app. So in the basic tab, input the resource group here, then your app service name, Then here select what you want to publish, whether code or container. So here I will choose code. Then the runtime stack, so I will choose Java 17 as the runtime stack. Then the web server for the app to run. So here I will select Java SE embedded web server. So we have other servers also, JBoss, Tomcat and so on. So I will go for Java SE. Then the operating system which we want to run. So I will go for Linux. Then the region. Okay. So next, then the app service plan. Then the pricing plan. So here I will go for the free tier to avoid unnecessary costs. So we have other plans also, and since we have chosen the free tier, zone redundancy is not available. Next, let's click database. Here, since it's a free tier, database attachment cannot be done. Next, let's go for the deployment. So here also, since it's a free tier, we cannot select the continuous deployment options. And next, if I want this app to be publicly accessible, so let's enable public access as on. And for the network injection, since it's a free tier, we do not have the option. So next, go for monitor. So I don't need this application insights enabled, so I will select no. And next, go for tags. Then click review and create. So it will get validated. Now everything is validated successfully. Now let's click create to create the app service. So this will take a few minutes for the app service to get created. So let's wait until it gets created. So we can see that the app service deployment is completed. So let's click this go to resource and see if it is successfully created or not. So we can see that the app service has been successfully created. So here I want to mention two things. One is the deployment slots. So since it's a free tier, we do not have the option to create deployment slots. So as for deployment slots, as I have already mentioned previously, we can create a staging slot where we can deploy first and check whether the app is running properly without any bugs, or if there are any bugs we can fix them. And once everything is completed, then we can swap the staging slot to the production slot. And another thing is the app service plan. So here we can see the instance count, the operating system, whether zone redundancy is enabled or disabled, and here also there are the options scale up and scale out. So since it's a free tier, we do not have the option to scale up or scale out. Now as we have created the app service, let's go into the VS Code and deploy the artifact to this app service. As we have completed the app service creation in the Azure portal, now let's sign into Azure from VS Code. This is to authenticate VS Code to access the resources from the Azure cloud. So click on this Azure icon and you can see this sign into Azure. So click this one and complete the sign in process. So once the sign-in process is completed, we can see the subscription being displayed here. Once you click this, we can see all the Azure resources that are available in the subscription being displayed here. We can see that Spring Boot demo app service which we created just before in the Azure portal. Now let's deploy the artifact to this Azure app service. So go to the Explorer window, then select this, right click this artifact and select deploy to web app. So it will fetch all the available Azure App Service from the Azure cloud and display it here. So for us it is the Spring Boot demo. Then it will, we need to input the port where we want to run this app service. Okay, 8080. Then you can see that our web app is being deployed to this Azure App Service. So here the deployment steps are being displayed here. Now the first step of 4 steps is getting completed. So let's wait until the 4 steps are completed. I will pause the video and come back once the deployment is completed. Yes, now we can see that the deployment has been completed. Now let's go to the Azure portal and get the URL and check in the browser whether the app service is running properly or not as per our expectation. So I am in the Azure portal and in our web service screen. So here get the domain and check in the browser if the app is running properly. So we need to give the complete URL for that method, info, and press enter. So we can see that it returns the response, welcome to Spring Boot development to cloud. That means our app deployment has been completed successfully and the app is running successfully. Now to avoid unnecessary costs, let's go to the portal and clean up the app service and the Azure App Service plan. So go here, so select the resource group, then you will see the app service and the app service plan. Select both and click delete. So here enter delete, which will delete the resources. Click here. So this may take few minutes and the app service and the app service plan will get deleted. So once they are done, then we will not be getting unnecessary costs. So we can see that the resources have been deleted and we are safe that we will not get unnecessary costs. So that's all in this video. Now please like and subscribe and share to your friends if you found this video useful. Thank you.